Hi guys, thanks very much for joining me. Hopefully you're watching this video because you're interested in the same thing that I'm interested in. You saw the title, it's about finding clients as a freelancer. Now, I'm not here to tell you how to do that. That's not what this video is about. This video is about engaging with you. Hopefully you engaging with me, giving me your feedback, your experiences on that subject of finding clients as a freelancer. Now, I am a freelance developer, not been doing it very long, only since like March, and the reasons for that, quite simple. I've been developing for over 22 years, which is scary when I stop to think about it. But I've been developing for the web for 22 years, seen a lot of changes, got a lot of experience, but for various reasons in my personal life over the last few years I've needed to scale back the amount of work I'm doing, and it got to the point where I basically needed to cut down even further, and I couldn't find an employer who would be able to pay me enough for what I was doing with the time I've got available for me to support myself. So I thought, well, now's the time I need to go freelance. So that was like March, so we're now we're like the 6th of June, so it's not long ago. And I'm having to learn a whole load of new skills that I never had. And one of those is finding clients. So it seems to me that there's kind of just two real ways, and within those two ways there's obviously lots of individual aspects to those two ways. But from a high level, there's just two ways to find clients as a freelancer. So I'm going to go into the first one, and this is the one that I'm really not sure about. I've got no real experience of it, but I'm going to tell you what my first impressions of it are, and then you can maybe feedback as to whether or not I'm right or I'm wrong. So the first way is online. It's anonymous. It's going on to websites like Freelancer, Upwork, Guru, TopTal, and I'm going to come back to TopTal in another video. I have an experience with them, not a favourable one, and I'm going to talk about that another time. But going onto these websites, registering, setting up a profile, and basically just tendering for work. Now, it seems to me, and again, please tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me that these websites are not designed for people like me. Let me explain what I mean by that. So, you go on these websites and you search for jobs that relate to your skills, and all of a sudden what you find is that there are people who either don't have a budget, they know what they want but they've got no idea what it's going to cost them, which to me is usually a pretty bad sign. It means that they are basically feeling for some guidance as to what things would cost. They don't understand, the differences in the international marketplace with regards to the cost of living. They also don't understand kind of the quality of work that they can expect to get across the marketplace. So they're basically looking for the cheapest price they're going to get. Now, it's an international marketplace. I can't afford to do things for the same price as somebody in India. That's not a slant against people living in India, but obviously they can afford to do things much cheaper than I can. So instantly you're going to lose out on price if that's the main driver. Now the second thing is that it's completely anonymous. I mean, yeah, there's a name, there's a profile there, but can you trust these people to pay when payment's due? Or are you going to constantly be back and forth with them asking you to spend more time and more time and more time to, do extra little bits that they didn't specify up front? Now, if you search for freelancing online, you're going to find tons of YouTube videos of cocky guys who made like 6-figure salaries on these freelancing websites. And there's a lot of bluster about how they do it and how successful they are. I just don't believe them. I think they may have made some money. I think they may frequently be turning over clients, but I don't know how much time they're having to invest and how much money they're getting back. Let me give you an example of why I'm dubious. So I've got one of these freelancing websites up in front of me. This is guru.com. So I just searched for some jobs related to the skills that I've got. Top of the list is somebody with a budget of under $250. Under $250. Under $250. I've got somebody here who even wants an Android app, and his fixed price budget is between $250 and $500. Now let me explain something. I'm from the UK. So instantly, when I see a price in US dollars, I kind of divide mentally by 1 1/4, 1 1/3. So for me, that's not even £500. And this guy has 17 requirements on his list for this app. It needs to have things like 2 interfaces, one for the public, one for an administrator. It needs to take payment online, so it needs to integrate a cart. It needs to be able to manage an inventory. This is not kind of like a 5-minute job. For me, this could take some time. And I'm expected to deliver in a maximum of $500. I just can't do that. So that's what I'm faced with. This is kind of my experience of these websites. Now, is it just me? Am I just overly cynical? Is it possible? I don't know. Sure enough, these guys on YouTube would say that they have a great experience. But I would much rather have real experience from real people living in the same geographic area as me, so in the UK. Are you having success on these websites? Okay. Second way of doing this. Real people, real connections. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about getting out on the street and knocking on people's doors with flyers and business cards. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about using social media to establish real connections with real people in real time. People like you, people who watch my video, think this guy's raising an interesting question, I've got some input, give me your comments. I'll maybe reply to your comments. I hope so, unless I'm inundated with like hundreds, which I don't anticipate. This is only my second video. But, you know, we build up a relationship. We may never meet, but we build up a relationship. We work together. It may be that sometime in the future, once I've got to know what you offer, I meet somebody and I can't fulfill their requirements, but maybe you can, and vice versa. Real connections with real people using social media. Or literally by going down the high street and knocking on people's doors and presenting your services. I mean, it's old school, but old school's coming back big style. So maybe that's the future. I don't know. So this is all about interaction, engagement. That's what I want to do. I want to build up some engagement with people, real people, to find out how you, if you are a freelancer, or if you know a freelancer and how they do with their business, I'd like to find out. That's what this video is about. Now, I said I wouldn't ramble. I've tried to keep it under 10 minutes. 10 minutes for you guys is a long time, so if you've stuck with me to this point, thank you so much. That's what this video was about. I would really welcome your comments, and I'm going to try and get some subtitles on this so you don't even need to switch your audio on. Okay, thanks very much for your time. I look forward to your comments, and until the next time, thanks for watching.